in my video on how to do velocity banking with a credit card, I mentioned that there was a disconnect between the average American earner in today's society. So they usually earn on average $2,600 a month, but they're spending $3,000 a month, which means that it's impossible for you to live on your own in America and be able to thrive and succeed. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys some guidance, 5 tips on how you can live as an average American earner in today's society so that you don't fall behind into this trap where there's this huge disconnect on how much we're spending and how much we're earning. It would be very easy to just say stop spending more than you make, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. And today I want to map out some strategies and some guides for you guys so you can follow and begin to reduce expenses, increase income, and begin to live life on your own terms. So I have 5 tips. I want to start with tip number 1, and that is to improve your financial literacy. And this is a big one that I always recommend, and there are a lot of great books out there to improve financial literacy, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and a lot of other ones by Dave Ramsey. But this one's important because you have to understand how money works in today's society. Money rarely stays in the same place. It's always expanding or contracting or moving from one hand to another. And if you understand that, then you realize that people who save money are losers in today's society because you're not earning any interest on that, and you might be losing your earning potential with inflation at anywhere between 5 to 10% a year. So instead of saving that money, you would probably be better off paying off high interest debt, because if you're paying off something that is eating 24% of your money compared to if you have it in a savings account where you're only earning 0.05, not even 5%, 0.05, right? Instead of saving your money, put your money here, pay that off, and you're getting a better return on your investment. So that's tip number 1, is to become more financially literate so you can make better buying decisions with your money. Step number 2 is to stop separating your money. So this kind of ties into the first one, and it is basically saying that saving is losing in today's society. So what I mean by this is that there's a lot of popular budgets out there, like the 50, 30, 20, right? And it's literally separating all your money away from you into saving and investing into things that who knows whether you're going to get a return or not. And money is stronger together. So how much faster would you be able to pay off debt if 100% of your cash flow went to pay off debt instead of, right, 25% going to savings and 25% going into wealth building and 25% doing all this, right? If you were to do 100% pay off debt and then 100% put into savings, 100% put into wealth building, how much faster would you be able to accelerate that process? So that's what I mean by stop separating your money from you. Cut off the 401ks and savings and invest that, redirect that money back into 100% of paying off debt, investing in yourself, and 10xing your income. You'll get a better return on your investment that way. And then we'll look at tip number 3, which is maximize your credit card points and loyalty reward programs. And in my opinion, this is one of the best investments that you can do because it is a guaranteed return and there is no downside. If you were to invest in the stock market usually returns anywhere between 5 to 10% a year, and this is on a good year. But remember, you have unlimited downside, which means you could lose all your money, right? There's no guarantee that you're going to keep your money. So that's with the stock market. But with loyalty and credit card reward programs, you essentially can average a 5% return on everything that you invest. It literally takes no time. You're just swiping your card and spending money on things that you're already getting. And there's no downside, right? No downside, no risk. You keep the money once you spend it on the things that you normally buy. So that's why I like this. It's the highest return on investment that you can get. It takes no additional time. There's no downside, and 5% return is an amazing return on an investment. So that's why I like maximizing credit card points. And I'll have a video on how I do this myself and average anywhere between 3 to 5% cash back on all my purchases. So we'll move on to step number 4, and that's understanding value arbitrage. And this one is a little bit more complicated than some of the other ones, because what you need to understand is that everybody has inherent value, and a lot of us don't even realize it. So let's say that you work at Macy's, you have a discount at Macy's, right? That in and of itself is valuable. You can save somebody 30%, or you can buy something at Macy's for 30% off. And if you realize that everybody has this, right? Everybody has something that they have of value that is not monetary. Then you can begin to strategically plan how you can build relationships that will save you money, right? And this can kind of get a little bit tricky. But the way I like to explain this is like back in the days when there was really no monetary value or money didn't exist, people would barter. So they would give people maybe like 5 bananas and then somebody would give them some sheep. That's sort of the same concept here, but we're thinking more in modern times where, let's say you have a skill that you want to exchange something for somebody and they give you a discount, maybe on a dinner or maybe a discount on airplane tickets. So you really have to get creative with this. You have to think outside the box. And that's why you need to understand value arbitrage, because you're exchanging value instead of currency for other things that you value. So that's tip number 4. And then tip number 5, and this one is hugely important, is to follow just one money management system. And this one, I find that a lot of people, once they get into the self-development realm, like to look at a lot of different teachers. So they'll look at Robert Kiyosaki, and then they'll look at Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, and they'll try to take the best parts of all of them and put them together. And the thing you have to realize is that they all have different strategies geared towards different goals, right? Robert Kiyosaki is all about using debt. Susie Orman's all about not using debt. So it's very difficult, and you get confused if you're listening to both of these people. And I understand that they have great concepts and great things that you want to implement into your life, but the best advice I can find is just pick one and just stick with it. Stick with it for a couple months, and if you don't like it, then you can switch. But don't try to put together all these sort of financial principles and build your own thing. Try one, see if it works, and if it doesn't, then you can pivot to a different one. So that's the 5 tips I have for the average income earner. Hopefully these tips will help you avoid being in that disconnect of somebody who spends way more than they're bringing in. And the thing that you have to realize is that even though it may not seem very common to you in your situation, this is the data that we've gotten from the Census Bureau, and it shows that literally most of us, I would say probably 80 to 90% of us, are spending more than we bring in, and it's very difficult to survive when you're doing that. So hopefully these tips will help out. I'll have more videos like this in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you got any comments, leave them in the description box or leave them in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys soon.